Just a bit, but let's bring up a conversation in the bipartisan talks, and this is Otiende Amolo's concern, and they're going to talk about this today. Boni Halwale is part of that team. Listen.
Next issue we're exploring, which we'll discuss again tomorrow in detail, is the executive route, where you use an executive order to constitute the team. The third route is what we call the sui generis route, where we talk of exercise of sovereignty under Article 1, where you do not need to be formally constituted, provided there's political goodwill.
Should it be? Should this entire thing be intra-parliamentary, extra-parliamentary, or sui generis, like they say?
To be very sincere with you, Trevor, I really don't care.
Okay.
The fact that these people are talking, and Boni Halwale, I want to thank you, my brother. You see, most people think that democracy as a principle is about the winner taking it all. Because most of us in Kenyan politics think that when you win an election, you need, first of all, to show the person that you defeated how they are worthless, how they are actually nothing, how, if they were clever than you, why didn't they beat you anyway? And what we are saying, and let me tell you, and many Kenyans are saying this, for me, let me talk about Richard Onyonka, Senator of Kisii County. The standard of making sure that Kenya becomes a better country than it is today is on the doorstep of President William Ruto. If Ruto doesn't fix Kenya, I don't think anybody can fix Kenya. Why? He has been through the Moi regime. He has been through the Kibaki regime. He has been through the Uhuru regime. And now he's got his own regime. So we can't have a government of 40 years where President William Ruto has actually been a participant, and now these problems look like they don't have solutions. So my suggestion would be very simple. The way the team of Otiende Amolo, my colleagues in the Kenya Kwanza Alliance and the Azimio Alliance are talking, please continue talking. Yeah. Number two, the conviction I have, Trevor, is this. Do we have any other option other than not to talk?
Okay.
Because you can't have a country. I am Boni. I am so endeared to David Ndii, and he says certain things. I don't know that Kenyans ever watch what David says. The other day, David Ndii said this: you cannot manage your politics and your economics if you have not solved the problem of political stability. So all that this team is doing, Kina Boni Halwale, Kina Otiende Amolo, Kina Kimani Ichung'wah, I want them to understand that the responsibility of making sure that our country moves ahead and moves ahead peacefully, and we make sure that we engage ourselves. In fact, Trevor, my position is very simple. The issue of the servers being open now, as far as I'm concerned, is not here nor there. Why? Because President William Ruto has already been sworn in as a president. But should we discuss the servers in the coming elections after these ones? Absolutely yes.
Okay.
Should we discuss constitutional amendments which require for us to have our country being in a certain position? I'll give you an example. Look at us, the structure we have right now, Mheshimiwa, with the county governments. You take a woman rep, like I'm from Kisii. I have how many sub-counties? I have 9 constituencies. How do you then get Madam Donya to get into a pickup and run around the whole of Kisii County as a lady, to become a women rep, to go to the National Assembly, and then run an office, which is actually at the county government, at the county level? Those are the questions we need to start asking ourselves. What are we going to do to make sure that whatever the president does, for me, and the responsibilities on this man here, you know, in that group is the senior most. Boni, please continue talking. Tell your colleagues, Kenya needs men and women of goodwill. When you realize that you people are going to disagree, look for a retreat. Don't go and discuss politics until you people reach a point where we can disentangle these problems that we have, so that by the time we go for the next elections, you find that we are going for the next elections where we trust each other, where the parameters on how an election is carried out are very open, where the announcing of the elections will be transparent and open, where issues on our management of... Trevor, let me bring this other issue, honestly, Honorable Boni Halwale. You are my brother.
Yeah.
And this one, I ask you not to respond. Please, because I love you and you're my brother and I respect you.
Yeah.
Please tell President William Ruto, he's only employing Kalenjins. It looks bad for our country. He has got Luyas who are his friends. Let him hire them. He has got Kisis who are his friends. Every day you see, and by the way, Kalenjins are some of the most educated people. But politics is about perception. You are creating a country of togetherness when every day, if Halwale, my leader, I come from a community in Kisii, a clan which is called Bogeka. If I become a governor in Kisii and you find today, Omogeka is the one who is my driver. If you come to my house, Omogeka is the houseboy. You go to my office, Omogeka is the secretary. You go to the guy who runs my money, Omogeka is the one who's there. You mean this guy doesn't have people he trusts?
Okay.
Who come from the other clans where I come from. Let us create a country that in perception and in reality, we are a people. I want to be in a position where I stand up and say, the President of the Republic of Kenya is my president, and I think he's done the best he could.
Okay.
Thank you.
Alwale, I'd like you to respond to this issue that it's a big deal now. There are many issues that you brought up that you'll talk about as the bipartisan team, and we'll see what you come up with in terms of results for them. But this procedure is where the rubber meets the road, because if it goes back to Parliament, then even your bipartisan teams are faced with the dynamics of Parliament, which then negates what you're doing. If it is extra-parliamentary, how do you anchor it in the law? Which is the best direction? Now that Onyonka has also mentioned that you're the senior most in that one.
Yeah, that is true. It is my privilege that I'm serving on this very important committee. The truth is, if this committee succeeds, then its work will surely be written in golden letters in the annals of the history of this republic. Because it is speaking to something that is the reason why African countries have not been able to develop at the same pace with the Asian tigers. Unlike the Asian tigers, in African countries, since independence in the early 60s, we have remained in a state of war and conflict. If it is not war, it is conflict. If it is not conflict, it is war, or both. No country can develop in that condition. So the issues put on the table, on the one side by Azimio and on the other side by Kenya Kwanza, I am now a very happy man, because what the unscrupulous political protagonists had expected was that Azimio would come with these issues for which us in Kenya Kwanza we were supposed to go and kill for, and vice versa. There is no greater or smaller issue, whether it is from Kenya Kwanza or Azimio. All the issues are relevant, all the issues are important, and we shall discount issue by issue.
Okay.
Number two, if we don't succeed, then we are saying our country must in perpetuity remain in a state of war and conflict, meaning we shall not be able to develop. One of the things that the committee must do, and I'm glad that I'm there, I'll work towards us doing, is to give as much information as possible to the public.
Yeah.
And now to your issue. As far as Azimio hardcore hardliners are concerned, they are saying we don't want to hear of that thing called parliamentary. In fact, their coalition leader has gone as far as casting aspersions on members of parliament that they'll be bought. I'm not too sure whether members of parliament are for sale, but he has his reasons.
Yeah.
On our side, our hardcore supporters are saying it is parliamentary or nothing else. So what we are starting out by is telling them that yes, you have your position, but the truth is that if you do it parliamentary, it's doable.
Yes, up to here.
And it doesn't mean you cannot completely do it outside parliament. You can. In fact, there are two ways. you can do it outside government going through the executive order. The president, the constitution allows them, a presidential order. 2, you can use what the good lawyer, Amon Otiende, was calling sui generis. That is just the Latin way of saying that we go back to the power of the people.
Yeah. Because
the people have a right to exercise their sovereignty directly, without falling back to us as their representatives. So once we socialize people and create enough fellowship around this knowledge, then the emotions of saying it should have been parliamentary or not will go down, so that whatever decision we make, we can carry the country with us.
Yeah.
I want to congratulate Senator Onyonga for the one remark he said, that he doesn't care whether it is parliamentary or supplementary. What is important is that we deliver.
Yeah.
You know what I was told when I was in high school, when I was learning English? I was told that it does not matter the color of the cat.
Just skin the cat.
What matters is that it can catch the mouse.
Yes.
Mwangangi, what are your thoughts?
Thank you.
They've tabled quite a number of issues.
It doesn't matter really. Skin the cat.
I think I agree with my colleagues on one aspect, that we need peace and stability in this country of ours. We have no another country. Let our leaders continue talking, whether it is through the parliamentary, or it will have inclusiveness from outside. I think that is something that can be handled at whatever level, but discussions, they need to be discussed. This, in my view, from where I sit, what we need currently is the goodwill. Because in the absence of political goodwill, then there will be challenges. For example, our leaders who are coming from our side, Azimio, in the event the leadership of Azimio is not giving clear direction, or they are not supporting that team to continue with the discussion, then it becomes difficult. And I know our people who are representing us in that parliamentary committee, they have full support. They have access to our leaders up to the level they want. One time, leader Margaret Thatcher said, want something said, look for a man. If you want something done, look for a woman. That was a long time ago. And I want to say, although there are female leaders in that committee, the men who are there, they need to focus and put the country first. Ensure they do everything possible not to bring any standstill, not anything to appear like they are not in agreement. Let them continue talking and let them ventilate on any matter, and consult the people, the leaders who send them to that committee, to ensure this process is smooth and achieves what it is meant to achieve for the country's peace and stability.
Yeah. And on the issues that have been highlighted, Onyonga, do you agree with most of them? 2/3 gender rule, entrenchment of NGCDF, GAF, and the Senate Oversight Fund. Now, the creation of the office of the leader of opposition, that's on the Kwanzaa side.
Yes.
This is related to what we're talking about. I mean, we're talking about having a bloated wage bill and not being able to sustain this in the long run.
Trevor.
Adding more offices and entrenching funds.
Trevor, isn't that what we were saying before the elections? And then after the elections, what I'm explaining to you is very simple. There is no wage bill that can be a substitute for peace. And that is what I remember Raila having discussed and raised this issue before, and people were saying, rubbish, you want to get positions. Trevor, and my colleagues here know this. How do you have a democracy where the leader of opposition, every time elections end, you have 8 or 7 people who are at home, they have no jobs to do? What do you want them to do? You have Raila is at home, Kalonzo Musyoka is at home, Martha Karua is at home, now Jakoya is at home, Wamalwa is at home, Matiang'i is at home. You are talking about Uhuru even is saying is at home. Can't we create a structure where you allow the leader of opposition, once we lose elections, because, Trevor, it gives the threshold. It gives you a threshold where if you notice that the elections are very close, you are even willing to concede because you know you can go and wait in the National Assembly and the Senate, so that then you prepare for the next time, because leadership is continuous, it's transitory.
Yeah.
But for us, we are fighting over power and leadership as if it's the end of the world.
So their pension and benefits is not enough?
It is, even if they were spending, even if you bring these people, all of them, and they spend 2 billion shillings, our economy is 3 trillion. We know the sensitivity. I know the pain that Kenyans don't have money. But the argument I'm making is, let me give you an example, Trevor. If you fix this problem by spending 1 billion shillings today, how many buildings, how many properties, how many people have been dying because we are having demonstrations over elections? So if it means we spend that kind of money so that we bring this country to reconcile with itself and accept that we have made some mistakes, and by the way, leadership is not the beginning and the end of the world. This man, yes, chances are he's looking that tomorrow he's actually going to end up running as governor of Machakos. But you know what? God might play tricks on him and bring him to the cabinet if Kalonzo becomes minister, or even president, or even Kalwale becomes president. So what I'm saying, let us not have this attitude that the reason why we have our democracy, one, you win elections. Number two, you take everything and shut out everybody else who you either they look funny, if they have a Luo name, or a Kisi name, or a Kalenjin name, or a Mkamba name, you chase them away because after all, tumeua nini, tumeua hii ndovu, sasa wakati wetu wa kukula ndio huu. We must shift the mindset of our people from there. Number two, the issues they are raising. How can you give me the responsibility as a senator to oversight a county government which has got 9 constituencies, and yet you don't even give me an office? And yet you pay me the salary exactly like the member of parliament. I have 9 constituencies. My salary is 640,000, just the way the other member of parliament is got 640,000, but them, they have 150 million CDF money. Number two, somebody was telling me that no, CDF is unconstitutional. It is a devolved fund. If CDF becomes the fund which goes to solve the problems at the constituency level, so be it. You know why, my brother? If you do not give CDF to the sub-counties or the constituencies,
yes,
Africa has not reached a stage, I can tell you today because I've been an MP for many years, where you want to stand up and say, now I'm coming to tell you how we have policy on infrastructure, we have policy on ICT, clap for me. The first thing they tell you, you are in a school, yes, can you fix those toilets? How can you not have authority even to influence, even if the committee was autonomous and the money was being managed even by the sub-county administrator? At least the MP will stand up and say, Commissioner, yes, please fix that school and those toilets. This looks bad.
Okay.
That is how we take the country ahead. The last one which you've raised, I think one of the issues that my side has been talking about. Let us create a leader of opposition. Let us use the internationally accepted best practice.
Yeah.
Let us allow him to check the national government.
Okay.
This issue, the issue that my side has brought up, saying, please stop taking people like I've been elected on ODM ticket. I'm the senator of Kisii County.
Yeah.
Let the president come to Kisii. I welcome him. I tell him, you know, I'm in the opposition. I respect you as a head of state. But for me, my party stands for this. And I discuss with respect and candor and explain to him, I am not challenging his authority, but I want him to do 1, 2, 3 because that's what our people expect, because our people pay taxes and because he's a Kenyan president.
All right.
Is there anything wrong with that happening? And therefore, so that this issue that every elections in Kenya, you win elections, you come to the National Assembly, the president who becomes president, you didn't even want to say hi to him when he came to Kisii to come and look for his votes.
Yeah.
Now he has won elections, now you are the one in the State House picking a salute saying, Your Excellency, you know, now I've left, in fact, there, that was just a vehicle. That is why parties cannot change.
Okay.
We must be parties where we are talking about environmental issues, good governance. We must have governors whom we give accolades to.
Okay.
We must have governors who stop corruption, who can change the economies of their counties, so that we can start changing which matrix do we use to create a president. It's a governor who changes the economy, pays the workers like he's saying, raises enough revenue, rewards all his people, has no pending bills, there's enough water. Why wouldn't you want to make such a person a president?
All right. Alwell, is there space for anything else on this list to be added? And I see Willis Raburu is already standing by here because we've taken most of his time. We need to wind up. Or is this the comprehensive list? This is it?
The issues that were tabled yesterday, they are for public consumption because it is our property. The thing which we have not spoken to in tabling those issues is the modus operandi.
Okay.
We hope that going forward, as we start the discussions, we will have an opportunity to allow for public participation. We don't want to have the know-it-all attitude. Yes. The issues being raised by Senator Onyonja, for example, and I'm sure Mangaki has something to add, is what we expect to come from you and from the public.
Okay.
So that the process is not delivering a baby who is ours. It is a baby of many fathers.
Okay.
In fact, all fathers.
All right.
Yeah.
Mongagi, as we wind up, would you want them to add anything else, the bipartisan team?
Yes.
Yeah. What would you want to add?
Devolution.
Okay.
That's very important. On leadership, Sir James Porter once said, fish stinks first from the head.
Yeah.
And I think Lord Acton also added on that leave and said, you can do a lot of things. But when it comes to leaders, power tends to corrupt.
Yeah.
But absolute power tends to corrupt absolutely.
Yeah.
We are in leadership not for our own self. We are in leadership to partner with those who put us there to transform the areas we represent, and transform the country. Okay. So in this case, I think talking should not stop. And it is out of that talking, I would say, by the way, losing an election is not easy. Nobody loves losing, even on anything, even on business.
It's rejection.
So those who have won, please stretch your hand and reach out to the person you competed with, to those perspectives.
Yeah.
And even there is something off the camera Senator Onyonga has told me, and that is my takeaway from this show.
Yeah.
This is once you are in the office, please know even the people who are there and their term ended, they left, but they left people you are working with. Reach out to them.
Okay.
That is how to strengthen the county, that is how to strengthen the country, and that is the way to move forward.
All
Thank
right.
you.
We have to leave it there because we're
Just a second.
By the way, sorry, this is very important for senators. This is very important for the senators and for the country.
Yeah.
This country has lost an hero in the name of the first member of parliament for Yatta constituency, who was jailed by government for standing against social evils like land grabbing, like corruption, like government not doing what it is supposed to do. This is the late James Mutiso.
Okay.
Not James, Gideon Mutiso, our founding member of parliament.
All right.
He died at 91. We are arresting him tomorrow.
Okay.
And then the country should remember his family and say a word of prayer for him.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen, for making time. We've really run out of time.
Trevor,
we're going to be
Trevor, I want you to thank this man for it. Boni.
Yeah?
If those talks fail, I'll blame you and Otiende. Both of you are senior, both of you are well-schooled, both of you are clever. Work it out.
All right. His Excellency Francis Mwangangi, Deputy Governor Machakos, Boni Aloale, Senator for Kakamega, and Richard Onyonka, Senator for Kisii. Thank you so much for State of the Nation. All right, time now for a quick break. When we come back, Willis Raburu is up next with cooking tips. All right, bye for now.